here to hear my opinion, man. You know, I'm a dumb redneck. I haven't watched enough. I didn't have a phone for 18 months. I've had one for 4 months and don't have social media. I hate to be the artist that's static aloof, but I've become so disconnected from what's happening. And I'm just not I grew up in a house of like insane pandemonium and like I didn't even know politics were real until I was in my mid-20s in jail. Like that's how disconnected. When you grow up in a drug addict household, you think we like have common calls about what's happening in world politics? Like we're just trying to find a way to survive, man. You know. And I have a lot to say about it, and I'm going to in the next week, and everybody's going to hear exactly what I have to say about it in the most loud and clear way I've ever spoken in my life. So I look forward to it.
All right, before anybody gets all worked up over this, let me say it clearly. I think the dude's talented, and part of his upbringing mirrors my own more than people might realize. But when he calls himself a dumb redneck, that's not humility. That's a shield. By saying that, he lowers the bar before anyone can even respond. It quietly says, don't expect too much from me, don't hold me to a standard, and I don't buy that. Especially not from someone with his reach. He says he's disconnected, no social media, no phone for a long time, out of touch with politics. But politics isn't an app. Everything in your life is political. Everything you own, the streets you drive on, the air you breathe, the water you drink, the laws that decide who goes to jail, who gets out, who gets help, and who doesn't. And he knows that because he's lived it. He didn't accidentally end up testifying before Congress. People don't get there by being apolitical. They get there because their voices intersect with policy, whether they call it politics or not. And when he says everyone's going to hear exactly what I have to say next week, that tells me something else. He does have something to say. He's just choosing when and where to say it, which brings me to my real point. When an artist says, I don't do politics, that usually means they don't want to say which side they're on, not because they don't care, but because it might cost them listeners money. So he could have just said, I don't want to talk politics. He could have said, this isn't the moment, and that would have been fine. But pretending to be completely out of touch, like he's been on a silent retreat since last year, feels like a cop-out. Artists don't have to endorse candidates. They don't have to lecture, but they can talk about values, accountability, dignity, second chances. Those aren't political until someone decides they are. So if next week he actually has something real to say, great, I'll listen. But if it turns into vague unity talk with no edges, then that moment wasn't about honesty. It was about him staying comfortable.